Hi, ma'am. It's been a long day, honestly, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
really looking forward to this conversation.
Yes, and it's so nice to meet you. So nice to see you again. It's been long that we have met. And since the time I've messaged you, I've been so excited, so thrilled to meet you because it's always a treat to talk with
Thank you,
you.
ma'am. And how are you?
Same here. I'm doing pretty well. It was a long day for me too. But
Hmm.
yes, I feel really content when I make some conversation in English. So this is my first conversation of the day
Hmm.
and the last one too. So
I
these
see,
days I'm
like you
just
have been
managing.
uploading regularly. Like I think every day you upload, right? Like I see a lot
Yes.
of videos.
I try to upload every day and try to
Hmm.
make at least one conversation every day. So this is
That's
first
great.
and last. That's what I was mentioning.
Yes.
So like how is everything? Your
Yeah.
YouTube, your life?
YouTube is going fine, but we are never satisfied. Like
Hmm.
once you start getting the result, you expect more, right?
Right, right.
There was a time when I wasn't even getting 200 views. Now I
Hmm.
get around 1,000 each video, like mostly conversational videos. But I want to see my, talking about books, movies, those videos getting views, but people are
Hmm.
not watching it. Like I don't know
Hmm.
whether I have right audience for that or not, but let's see. I'll keep trying. And apart from YouTube, I want to switch my job. Like teaching is cool, I enjoy that thing, but it takes a lot of time. And I feel like I want to give more time to YouTube when I start something of my own here. Like I have already started, I'm getting a few students, but school still takes a lot of time. How about you?
Right,
How are you managing
right.
things?
I am pretty fine with managing things, and it's quite convenient for me because I'm working from home itself. I don't
Mhm.
go to any institute and all. So I'm teaching students like beginners in spoken English, and then I manage my house, and then I try to manage YouTube as well. So it's quite
Mhm.
convenient doing this from your home.
You are doing so much, and here I'm complaining. I just have to work.
But every journey is different, every life is
Yes,
different,
yes.
you have different
Mhm.
responsibilities, different expectations, desires. So maybe the thing that you are doing right now, maybe it's less for you, right?
Exactly. But I
Mm.
see, people like you who have to manage both of the things, right? Like work and taking care of your house is big thing for me. Like if my mom doesn't cook lunch or dinner for me, I feel like where the hell I'm going to eat.
That's so great. In a last conversation, also I got to know a lot about you, that you are very down to earth person. You value others' role and responsibilities, like especially women's, especially
But the
women.
thing is that lately I'm getting so annoyed. Like, you
Hmm.
get a lot of comments, not comments, I would say, of course, comments on YouTube, but people are approaching you a lot, but they want instant reply that
Hmm.
don't talk to me right now. So maybe, maybe that part is
Hmm.
not. But let's see. I try to be kind.
So we know that you are an avid reader. You have treasure of books. So we are going to talk
Yes.
about that only. And I'm so excited because I've also started reading recently.
Hmm.
Earlier than this, I was really struggling with it. I knew it from always that reading is the most important part in getting the fluency. But I was not
Hmm.
able to do it because in this era of technology and this mobile phones and everything are there, and we are getting content on a
Hmm.
snap of fingers, no? So
Exactly.
most of the peoples are not preferring to go for books. But when I
Hmm.
started reading, I really got value out of it because
Yeah.
I totally dedicated my time to that particular page to find out and to read between the lines. So I really
Hmm.
found it very fruitful. So I want to talk about that only because, like me, there are many who want to start this journey, but they're not able to do so because of some or the other reason. They keep on procrastinating. So we want some motivation from you because you've come a far way in reading, right? Come a long way. So yes. So
Yeah,
before that,
definitely. Like lately, yeah.
mhm.
Were you saying something?
I said before that, if you could introduce yourself a little bit for those who don't know you, although you are a very famous personality on YouTube.
I don't know how to take that one. But after Rajni's video, I'm happy with that. I'm popular
Ah,
now.
so you are, right? Huh. But still, by any
Yes, yes,
chance.
yes.
Mm.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. My name is Raushan and I'm from Bihar. Currently, I'm working in a school and I recently graduated with English honors. I have started a YouTube channel where I talk about books and I love to talk about movies. And I connect people like ma'am with whom I talk in English and upload them on the internet. So, that's pretty much about me.
Thank you so much for that.
Yes,
If you want.
I don't want to have that tag of a reader. Like,
Mhm.
I love consuming media. As you said, that we have so much information right now. If we want to entertain ourselves, we don't have to read a book, right? We can do with other things too. But we get also distracted with those things like reels, short videos. They are just like there is a very famous word these days going around brain rot. I think you might be familiar with that word.
Brain
Brain
rot.
rot. Yes. I hope I'm saying it correctly. It simply
Hmm.
means we are too distracted. We don't
Hmm.
feel like, if you watch a video, you want to watch more. Like, I want to
Hmm.
keep going, keep going. But with books, you don't have many options, right? You have to read by line. Only then you will get that thing. It's not instant. You won't be instantly rewarded for that, or it won't be entertaining. But once you read that book, once you are into the world of that fictional world, or you are connected with the characters, you feel like you don't want to stop. So of course entertainment is the part, and we have so much options these days. And another thing I wanted to add, that I'm going to flex my books very soon. I have got my bookshelf ready. So very soon I'm going to keep my bookshelf here, and then I will do that. So I'm
Hmm.
looking forward to this conversation. I recently had a conversation with Ashutosh where I
Hmm.
just talked about books, reading, and how it can help us to learn this language and make us fluent.
Hmm. Right.
So yeah,
So,
let's
eh,
talk.
yes. So, in this English community, you are
Hmm.
one of the inspiration for readers, like whosoever want to start their journey. So, you are the one who everyone can look up to. So, first, I want to know how your journey started in reading. I'm sure you must have struggled, at starting.
Yes. First of all, I'll make one thing clear. I'm not a very
Hmm.
smart guy. I'm not an intellectual. I just read for the sake of entertainment. I'm not reading any heavy books, though I try to add some difficult text in my reading, but it's mostly because of entertainment. I read fiction like 95% of the time.
Hmm.
So it started, I would say, when I was in class 10th. But I would say it started in my childhood. Like I have
Hmm.
always been fond of stories. Like I remember my cousins, they used to bring these magazines called Champak and Balhans. They were for kids, Nanhe Samrat, and all these magazines used to come twice a month. So I used to eagerly wait for that. But once I got my smartphone, like it was not a smartphone, it was Nokia E52, but there was internet connection there. So I completely forgot that there is a thing called reading. I was on the internet, Facebook, Instagram was not there. So mostly Facebook. I completely forgot about it. And in teenage, we try to explore many things. Like if you get like when I was in class fifth, when I got internet and it was unrestricted for me. So I wasted a lot of time on the internet.
Mm.
But uh, once I was in class 10th, 11th, I started reading, you know, manga, which is Japanese comics. They are
Okay.
comics, but they are from Japan and they are mostly black and white. So it is easy to read. You don't have to put much effort there, but still English was new for me there. But because of the figures and dialogues, I was able to, stay in that world. I kept on reading. I was watching anime, TV shows a lot. So the interest returned. Like I wanted to explore more stories from different world. And I think last time we talked about it, The Alchemist, right?
Hmm.
My literature teacher, he gave me that book and told me, Roshan, if you are trying to explore literature, start with this book. It is very easy to read. And I read it within a week. And I thought maybe I can also read plain text. So then I
Hmm.
started trying. But as usual, like most of Indians, like we go on the internet, search things that great books to read. And the biggest mistake we make, we go with self-help book, right? We choose something which is which can be helpful, but it is always repetitive. So I also made that mistake. I read a few self-help books, then again I lost my interest. But thanks to lockdown, i kept on reading I kept on reading manga and comics. So one day I decided, let's read more. I started buying books. Books were expensive, but somehow I kept on buying, and yeah, I never stopped since then. Like I make plans, like this is book I want to read. And like I have my preferences. Long answer, but I have my preferences. I try to go with my own taste, and I try to explore some more genres. Along with that, I add difficulties too. It's not always that I'm reading like very easy books, right?
Mm-hmm.
Language wise. For example, if you have you heard of this author Dostoevsky, Fyodor Dostoevsky?
No, I'm not much into reading, so I never heard.
Yeah. So he is like very popular and popular for a good
Mm-hmm.
reason. He's from Russia, and his writing is like very universal, really challenging. And he, for example, he asks a lot of existential questions, right? So I'm into more depressing stuff. So he's one of my favorite. So because of him, I got into like I started exploring world literature because of
Mm-hmm.
Dostoevsky.
Hmm.
Long answer.
Okay.
I hope you followed me.
And yes, because the journey was long, so the answer is
Yes,
obviously
yes.
it would be long, right? So yes, so you've gone through a lot, you struggled a lot, and then you finally found your genre, and you whichsoever you are interested in, you're following that. But
Mm,
initially, beginners find it very difficult to find like which book to start with. And you
mm,
already mentioned that you started with comics because there you can just get interest
mm.
because of pictures as well, and then these
Exactly.
dialogues, right? But do we get good English there, like correct English?
Of course,
Mm-hmm.
you get good English there. I mean, there are different kinds of genres there also. And believe me, like manga, I find it the best storytelling form. Like you will get hooked. Like
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about them very soon. I will, but they are expensive. If you want to get physical copy, they are very expensive. But on the internet, you can get pirated version, and they
Mm-hmm.
are really amazing. Like for me, manga is one of the greatest storytelling form. Like I love
Mm-hmm.
movies, I love plain text, but manga is still close to my heart.
They can
Yes,
start with.
beginners
Mm-hmm.
can try with comics, right? For
Mm-hmm.
example, if somebody is into action, like you might be familiar with Superman, Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man, all of these things are comics, and then they are
Mm-hmm.
adapted into movies. So if they
Right.
can start with those things.
Mm. Or we can simply say start with some books which has pictures as well, so that they could
Hmm,
develop that interest, and later on
exactly.
they can go for whatever they are interested in, maybe fictional
Hmm.
or non-fictional.
There is always debate with fiction and non-fiction, but I recommend to go with fiction. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't have to, like, of course, you are trying to read for improving your English, right? So choose something which you are interested in. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to other people. Like there are tons of books, and
Mm-hmm.
you will find something for you. So if
Mm-hmm.
you are looking just if you are looking to read, if you want to read just for the sake of improving your English, choose something which is light and
Mm-hmm.
fictional. Like
Mm-hmm.
I recently read this book, The Catcher in the Rye, and I have talked about this on my channel. The language is very easy. Themes are heavy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Themes are heavy, but you are not doing a research. You are not studying it for your syllabus. You are just reading it for the sake of like improving your English, right? So pick something light. That's what I would say.
Mm. And if somebody is confused about any book, then they can also check e-book or e-version of it. And if they
Hmm.
find the language really easy or understandable, then they can buy
A
that book,
physical
right?
copy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I prefer physical book because it's less distracting. You have to
Mm-hmm.
be there. Otherwise, ebooks they are available. But what happens that no matter how hard you try, you will return to your like social media accounts, right? You get a
Mm.
message. You don't. If you feel bored, you have option to go somewhere else. But yeah, as you mentioned that if you are interested in reading, read a few pages on the internet. If you find the language easy, get the
Mm.
book.
Right. Okay, so once someone has decided that this book they want to go with, that particular book they want to go with, so how
Hmm.
can they actually learn English from it? What approach they should follow to get the
I
most
think
out of
they,
it in
I
terms
think
of
they should
English?
follow your approach. I watched your
Mm-hmm.
video of The Alchemist where you were reading, underlining difficult words.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, you have to put effort, right? For example, right now, I don't have to underline each and every word. And people don't have to feel shy to write in their book. I have seen people they think that they should not be writing in their book, right? Just write, dude. If you find a difficult word, underline it, and don't look up for that word right away. You can do it after like second day, third day. Once you have read a
Mm-hmm.
few pages, because your rhythm will not break. So
Mm-hmm.
what this is what I do. I read, and if I find a difficult word, I underline it. If I find a beautiful sentence, I underline
Mm-hmm.
it. So I have different reasons why I'm reading, right? And most of the time, I like to highlight those sentences which I find relatable to my current situation. And in fiction, you will be able to find tons of those kind of sentences.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, words, underline them, phrases, and you will get the idea of structure, sentence structure.
Right, right.
And you won't even realize it, it's happening. And one more suggestion, read aloud.
Right. So it's like the same way we used to study for our exams. We used to make notes and underline each and every new words we are coming across and then
Hmm.
revise it over and over again before going for the exam. So it's the same thing we have to do again
Yeah,
to
but
get the
here we
most
have
out of.
less pressure. Here we have less pressure. We don't have to, right? I mean, at the end of the day, no matter which technique you are using, if it is
Mhm.
new for you, it will feel burdensome and you will have to put some effort. Like carrying a pen, once you do it for a week or 2 weeks, it won't be a bother. Like underlining something, it won't be a bother. And now we have so many resources like ChatGPT. It's a great help. You don't have to even write every word. Just say it to it and it will catch, right? And it will
Right.
provide you each and every word with context.
There are
Exactly.
complicated books out there, and this will not be case every time that you'll understand each and every word, and then you
Mhm.
might lose some interest also if you'll not understand each and everything. So just
It's
underline
exactly.
it once and then
Mhm.
read that page once again. So you'll
Second time.
better understand.
Mhm.
And do
Uh,
you often read your books over and over again?
uh, now my comprehension is good, so I don't have
Mm-hmm.
to reread them. But if I like a book, then of course I visit it. Like some pages, some part of it, which is my favorite. So I
Mm-hmm.
fold it, I put a bookmark there. But
Mm-hmm.
one book that I always go back and read is The Prophet by
Mm-hmm.
Khalil Gibran. Very easy. Like I mean, very not easy, but it is a thin book, so it doesn't take much effort to reread it. But if you are reading a
Right.
thick book of 1,000 pages,
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to mention this one. You talked about rereading. So this is what I believe. There is no other route for comprehension. Don't stop. If you find something difficult, don't stop. Give yourself enough time and you will get familiar with that difficulty. Here is an example from my experience that I read. But William Shakespeare is very difficult, like his language, like archaic English. So I was always scared of his writing. So this year, I guess 2 months ago, I started reading not Othello, Julius Caesar. So I was going reading every day, and like after 3 or 4 days, I got familiar with his writing. So for
Mm-hmm.
first 4 days, it was really difficult. I mean, it was hell for me. Like I wanted to return to my lighter books, but I kept on going, and after 4 days, I got familiar with the language. So first rule of comprehension: don't stop even if you are not getting everything. Just
Mm-hmm.
keep continuing. And by the way, are you
Okay.
reading
Mm-hmm.
anything at the moment?
Yes, I'm reading The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, and
Hmm.
it's I'm finding it really very interesting. And parallelly, I'm reading The Alchemist because I've not completed it yet. But
Hmm.
initially, I was, procrastinating because I was not able to understand this complicated language and all. But
Hmm.
slowly and gradually, I have developed interest when I, sit with this pencil and then I make notes. So I have started.
Yes,
Mm,
you are actually doing the work.
mm,
Whether I should recommend this book or not, but
mm-hmm.
it might scare our audience. It might scare you also. But
Uh,
recently, I'm reading this series called Stormlight Archive.
mm-hmm.
It is very thick one, right? But it's a fantasy world, so it's very
Mm-hmm.
easy to read. I won't recommend. I can recommend this to you. The book is expensive. Language wise, it is very entertaining, very easy to
Mm-hmm.
read. So it is called Stormlight Archives, and it's a long series. I'm
Mm-hmm.
reading the third book, and each book is 1,000 pages, like 1,300, 1,200 pages. But it is a page turner. You won't
Mm-hmm.
even realize how many pages you are reading in a day. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the third book. It is this one, and all of
Right.
them are thick but
Mm-hmm.
very entertaining.
Mm-hmm. An easy language or it's little
Very easy
complex?
language, very easy.
Okay.
Like, there's thing about any fantasy world, you will get
Mm-hmm.
a few difficult words because
Mm-hmm.
it's a fantasy, so there are different names. So they are
Mm-hmm.
kind of difficult, but the
Mm-hmm.
language, I would say, like even beginners can read it. But because of thickness, they might get scared.
Right, it happens
Mhm.
because they feel like giving up halfway through. But yes, if
Yes,
it is interesting, then they
they
might
can
end up
try.
reading it.
Mhm.
Okay. And here is also one thing that people find it difficult to be consistent in reading.
Hmm.
So, what would be your
Exactly.
suggestion here?
I would say be bored, like put your phone away, don't touch it while you are going to read it.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, the thing we talked earlier, like it's because of instant gratification on social media, what do we do? We get entertained so easily. So it is the problem. You won't be entertained, as I said earlier, that it takes time. So give yourself enough time. I mean, be
Mm-hmm.
bored and you will enjoy the text if you're bored
Mm,
enough. So being
right,
boring is very important if you want to become a reader.
right. You have to work on it. And I would like to suggest that they should start with 4 to 5 pages, and then slowly and slowly they can move forward as
Exactly.
per their
Make it part
interest.
of your routine. You don't like,
Mm-hmm.
for example, if you're going to bed, get some 15 minutes, 20 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can carry your book. This is what I do. Wherever I go, I carry my book. And if there are not a lot of people, I start reading. I don't want
Mm.
their eyes on me.
Okay, wonderful. So these were some really insightful suggestions, and I'm sure those who are interested in starting their reading journey, this would definitely help them. Anything else you want
Also,
to add on before wrapping this conversation?
yeah, please visit my channel. I talk a lot about books. You can get a lot of book recommendation. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, reading is fun. Like you don't have to make it a big deal. Make it part of your routine. As an man said, 4 to 5 pages every day, and you won't even realize how much you have read. So yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So everyone should make that little effort to just explore themselves in reading as well, apart from watching, listening. That is
Hmm.
something easy to do, but explore yourself in reading as well. So this was really a very fruitful conversation. Okay.
I hope so.
And I
They
hope
will find it fruitful.
it is definitely.